guys, welcome to another episode of DeLuSioNaL's Arcade. So in this episode, we're just going to do a quick little project update. It is now, I guess, officially summertime, or close to it. And we have a whole bunch of stuff. You'll see a couple machines that are new here. And I did get rid of the other Vigolix. I finally went to my nephew, who I fixed it for. You'll see the other video. If you want to take a look at it, it was the orange version of this green Vigolix arcade here. So basically, I guess we'll start, let's see, where should we start? I guess we'll start with the Vigolix. So like I said, the orange one did go to my nephew. So he loves it. I mean, his dad and mom were like really pleased on how it came out. So that went over there, which is great because now there's a little more room for stuff. It was getting a little crowded down here for a little bit. I did pick up also a couple of PVM monitors. One's I believe one's a 13-inch. And one's 20-inch. They're really great. The bottom one is awesome. So, you can actually hear Tetris. This is one of the newer ones. Here, I'll actually dim the lights a little bit. So I did pick up a Tetris board. The colors were a little off. I haven't adjusted it. I kind of just threw it in there. This is where the Pyros was. Pyros, I ended up selling the board. Not my favorite game, and those games are actually quite valuable. So, went to another collector on Club, and I'm really happy that he got it because he's really pleased that it was there, and we're both happy, basically. And as you guys know, I did get this for a great price. This is the Let Go pickup that I got. So this one's still a work in progress. I have to do a little bit things with the monitor because one of the cables is kind of loose there, so I may have a Cult solder joint, so I'm going to reflow everything and possibly just redo the harness on that for the RGB, because when you kind of pull on it, it changes color. So that's probably an easy fix. The only hard part really is getting this bezel here. If you guys have any ideas, just leave in the comments. I know there's places you can get it, but I'm not really sure what this used to be. I guess that would be a clue. Once I figure out what it used to be, it'll be easier. You'll see it just change color now. Yeah, it's very weird. It's temperamental right now, and I think I just have to reflow stuff. But this, I do need a glass as well. It's kind of hard to find somewhere where it's a decent price. I think the lowest I've gotten is $150 for glass. So, I'm going to still shop around because I'm in no rush to get it. Again, this is just a project thing that I got really cheap. So eventually I may get rid of it. I may throw maybe a multi-board in there, a 19-in-1 or something that's horizontal. And then, get the glass and then make it look really sharp and then sell it. Let's see, what else? This one here, this is actually where my Tetris is going to go. I decided to make this a Tetris. This was the Super Buster Brothers cabinet that I got from Steve at no cost. I was originally going to make it a Zookeeper. I really wanted that game, to make a Cabaret Zookeeper, which has never been done. But I realized that this is, I don't know, I still may do it, but it ended up being really pricey. To get the side art custom done, because I probably have to get a commission to do that, and I want the yellow side art with the lion and stuff. So I don't know, I'm still torn, but for now, the controls, it's 2 players, so you have player 1 here with the button and player 2 with the button. They're reversed, but still, I think it's good enough. If I throw a Tetris in here, I have the Tetris board right there. I think I'm going to make this a Tetris. I can leave it wood grain, probably just get new bezel art here, a new overlay, and also down here, it's hard to see, it's actually covered. You can kind of see down there is the marquee. So for now, I took the machine apart. It does come apart completely. I can relaminate it if I want to, but I figured, I got this thing for nothing anyway. I might as well throw a Tetris in there and make it a nice little cabaret machine, and I'll probably keep it because Tetris is one of my favorite games. And I did pick up the the JAMA board that you see there. What else? I guess over here you can see all my outrun boards. We'll get to that later. I have about 4 outrun board sets. 2 are turbo and 1 is a regular outrun. And because I did pick that up. Over here I want to show you I have another zapper here. I got to make a modification to that, so it becomes, this one actually I'm going to use for the Nintendo, so it'll be fine. But I do have another one which I'll get to later in the video, where I'm going to kind of modify it so it works on a versus board. The other thing I want to show you here is I got the, this is kind of a little modification for the flashing Nintendo. It has like the lockout feature. where it flashes and stuff. So I'm actually going to mod it so I can put this on there so it doesn't go down. So it'll be a lot tight fit on there. I ended up getting that pretty cheap online. The other thing, you guys saw this already. This is a Donkey Kong. You know, it came out really good. I got a lot of compliments on this cabinet. You know, Lee did a really good job designing it. And, you know, bar tops are great. I mean, I really discovered them now. They work perfectly here. I have them on my shelf. And it is portable. I've brought this to work before, and they loved it. So, you know, I might try a different kit that he has. Maybe a Ms. Pac-Man one or something. But I do have another kit from another designer. I believe it's Rick over in Canada. You know, he has game designs. And, yeah, I have one of his kits, so. Alright, so we move on here. So, PVMs, we did the Vigo licks already. And by the way, my URL has actually, it's still this here, but you can actually update it to youtube.com/DelsArcade. Just like my Twitter. My Twitter is Dels Arcade. So if you guys want to hit me up, subscribe, follow me, and, you know, just tell your friends, Dels Arcade. youtube.com/DelsArcade. So this here is my original Ultra Arcade. It's really hard to get rid of. I toyed with selling it at one point and downsizing the panel, but now that I have a bigger place, it kind of really does fit nice in that corner. Even though it's a 4-player aircraft carrier, it still looks pretty decent. And it does get a lot of use. My son, you know, he's 8, and, you know, he'll get together with friends here, and they'll play, you know, 4-player X-Men or, you know, Simpsons or any type of beat 'em up. Like, it's really great for that. It does have the dual sticks on here, so you can play games like Smash TV with 2 players. So I purposely put that stick there because I love Smash TV. Total Carnage will work as well. There's also some other twin stick shooters like Robotron works fine on here. It's not leaf switches, these are competitions, but it is a main machine. So, and I plan to get a Robotron eventually. It's one of my you know, dream arcades, one of my grails that I want to get. Let's see what else. Here we have, this is my Cocktail Arkanoid. Right now it's running a LCD in there because the original monitor is still on the back burner to get repaired. It's actually a Toei monitor, which is super pain in the butt. If you guys know Toei's, there's no parts for that thing. So I'm still searching for a 13-inch monitor right now. But for now, you know, it does look decent, and it doesn't have a scanline generator in there, but it does have the RGB to VGA converter, and there is really no lag. It does have the original controls. There's one. It's in really nice shape otherwise. And there it is. I am missing the coin door, so if you guys know where I can get that coin door. Right now it's set for free play. It's not really the coin door, but the, I guess the catch where all the quarters go, the bucket. Alright, so Outrun. This is the new one. So here's the story with this. Originally, I got this one over here. Yes, I have 2 Outruns. One's been converted to a turbo. It has the side art. This one actually is in a little bit poorer shape than the other one. It does have like these on the T-molding. I guess they just took screws and washers and kind of just like screwed them in there all along the edge here. It's missing it there. You know, the coin door is in not great shape and stuff. It does have a turbo button. The turbo sticker, which I plan to kind of peel off. And the pedal is kind of bent and stuff. This one I actually got from a YouTuber. He's actually a local guy. Actually, he's in New Hampshire. He's not really too local, but he is on NEACF. It's, you know, my buddy Mike. And, you know, he saw that I wanted one when I did that other Final Lap video. And he said, hey, man, I have an Outrun. You know, I have a board for it. The board's not working, but everything else is. He actually popped his board in there and showed me that it worked. The monitor needs some, you know, probably needs to be recapped. I know because I stuck the other Outrun that I got in there. So I had this for a while. I was just sitting there and I was trying to swap chips out, and it turns out that the turbo chips on there, when I tried swapping them out for the regular Outrun, they don't make them anymore. So they don't make EPROM chips that are 28 pins. They're only 32 pins for 1 megabyte. So people were telling me that I had to take the 512 chips and kind of daisy chain them almost on the board. I can't remember what it's called exactly, the method. But I will mess with that eventually. For now, since I do have a regular Outrun, which is over here, it is semi-working. It has some glitches on it. So like the road is missing. It was really worse when I got it. The sound was working when I got it, but ever since I swapped out some of the chips when I burned them, the sound stopped working, but I got the graphics. So I just got to figure it out. I'm sure it's something simple that I'm just missing. And I do have other parts. I have, there was a guy luckily on BYOAC. He sent me a board set that he said had some graphical glitches, but he hadn't used in years. He just sent it to me at no cost, which is really cool. I thought that was awesome. So, you know, you give back to the community, you get from the community. It's all reciprocal. You know, it really is cool. This outrun I ended up getting pretty dirt cheap on Craigslist. The guy said, hey, it has some glitches, and I was like, you know what I plan to do is get one nice outrun out of the two machines. This one has some cracks in the gears. This other one here that Mike gave me, he 3D printed the gears, so they're brand new. He redid the whole wheel. This is super smooth when you use it compared to this one. This one kind of, you can tell it's not as smooth, it's harder to use. This one does have force feedback, the other one does not. So between the two, like I said, I'm going to get one to work. You guys have already seen my sit down. This is a kind of like a Vulix clone. It's made by Extension Arcades. They actually discontinued this model. I got it on Craigslist, wow, I would say about 2 years ago. I paid $100 for this thing, believe it or not. It was flat packed completely, and it was just missing the bolts here. So what ended up happening was I contacted Extension Arcade and I said, hey man, I bought this online, blah blah blah, and they said no problem. They sent me the bolts at no cost, which I thought was super cool of them. So great company, they really have great customer service. I've contacted them a few times about shelving and about this thing here, and they were really prompt in answering my questions and everything. Let's see, let's head over. You guys have seen this as well. This is a thing I got free as well on Craigslist. Some guy was giving it away. He said his kids outgrew it. It was literally around the corner, so I just head over with my car, grabbed it. It was sticking out the back, but it was only a block away, so it wasn't that bad. So this one opens up. This thing actually extends here, opens up, and it has a really cool scoring system. It'll talk to you. It's the ESPN one. It has baseball, football, soccer, hockey, and of course basketball. That's what we really play here. So here's the outrun that you see here that I just showed you. This Arkanoid here, this is actually Tournament Arkanoid. This is actually my buddy Thomas's. I actually picked it up. I went on a run, and you'll see it also on my arcade series, Arcade Hunting. I picked it up for him. Got a really good package deal from that guy Steve, and does have a Tournament Arkanoid. I thought it was bootleg at first, but it turns out it's legit, and it is just the tournament version, which is a little harder. He already has a board, but he lives in Delaware, so that's away from Connecticut. So eventually when I go to Maryland, I'm going to take it to him. And then for now, you know, I'm just holding it for him. But I'm really tempted. And I don't think I'm going to do it, but I'm really tempted to turn it into a Zookeeper and just find him another Arkanoid. But he really loves the Taito cabinet. He likes the fact that it's in there, that Arkanoid's in there. He loves that game, and he really wants to restore it, so it looks great. So he's going to restore it just as it is, just looking a lot better. So we'll see. I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this yet. But for now, it does have Thomas's name on it, so you know, I'm going to go ahead and give it to him. So this here, this is my Total Carnage. This needs some work as well. It's starting to have issues with the Total Carnage board. Right now it's on Smash TV. I used to have a 2-in-1 switcher on there, and that thing kind of just died. So, you know, so I am going to put another, I guess, better quality switcher in there. I am going to change out the JAMA harness because that thing is pretty old. It's actually the original, it has the original wiring from Gauntlet that was in there, because this is a Gauntlet conversion. Someone else converted it. But then they just stuck the JAMA harness on there and used the same wiring, and it's really faulty. It's not that great. You know, I had restored this, redid all the coin doors, had the 2-in-1 there, and it was working great for a while. But then I redid this as well. I used to have an older control panel on it. So this is all done by scratch. I cut this whole thing. I traced the original board. I actually still have the old one. If anybody's interested, you know, the old Gauntlet, you know, that has Total Carnage graphics on it, but it's the old Gauntlet control panel. These are Dominic sticks. These are from Groovy Game Gear. These are Leaf sticks, which have a grommet in the middle. and they have circular restrictors in there and everything, so it feels buttery smooth, and it's really fun to play Smash TV on. I actually toyed with putting a 3-in-1 here, maybe having a J-Rock, JAMA, Smash TV, and Total Carnage. That way I can play Robotron on here. One player if I want to. It's a 19-inch monitor. This monitor is brand new as well. There's no burn-in. I got that from a guy, can't remember his name, but he was pretty local too. He was about an hour away, on Clav. So that's it. So this is my stuff here. Now I'm going to move on to DeLuSioNaL. This is in one of my other pickup videos. This one has some cosmetic issues, but I went over the whole thing with Magic Eraser and it really brightened it up. There's a couple nicks and dents here, but it is all original side art, which I love. You can even see it has someone's put their name in. I think there was a guy named Gator on the other side, where it said, it had like the date 1985 on it, and then it had like his high score on it, which was kind of scratched in just like this. I kind of like it. I think it's, arcade patina. Really think it's really cool. I'm going to leave it as is. I really like how that looks, versus new artwork. Did replace the T-molding on this. Looks a lot better than it did. I do need a glass. It's kind of blown out here. This is glass, but you can see the light in there. It's kind of blown out because it flaked off. So basically the monitor here needs adjustment, so I got to do that in a future video. It's going to be super scary because these things are the original. They're like the first color monitors that came out. This is one of the first color games, if not the first color game that came out. And you can see there's just convergence issues on the bottom, on this side, on the bottom when you play. But it is in really nice shape. I redid the control panel, just did Magic Eraser on it, came out perfect. This here was flaking a little bit, so I might have to take it out and spray it down with some gloss clear coat on the other side just to preserve it a little bit, because it is flaking off a little more. Every time I touch it, it flakes off. The coin door is original. That hasn't been touched at all. The front, not sure if the graphics, not sure. I'm looking here. I'm not sure if the graphics came on that or not. But I've seen graphics on there when people redo their stuff, so I'm not sure if that's original or not. So if you want to leave something in the comments, I'm really curious about that. If the kick plate, had the graphics in there, or if somebody just painted it over this one. It does look original, so I'm not really sure. It doesn't look painted over to me. But I don't know, maybe, well, maybe, because this seems like a little brighter than this over here, so maybe it was painted over. I'm not really sure. But either way, I think it's in really nice shape. It's a nice DeLuSioNaL cabinet that I have in my collection. I got for a really nice price. I picked that up along with the Defender. You can see that video if you just click on the top. That was a really cool and fun video to do where I did a triple pickup. I got the Frogger, Defender, and DeLuSioNaL all in one. This one is out of order, unfortunately. The boards have issues, of course, because it's, Williams Defender. Someone told me, just get a J-Rock, toss it in there, and then fix the other one at your leisure. I may do that. I'm not really sure. The control panel, it's in pretty rough shape. It's a little dirty. I haven't really tried cleaning it off yet. I haven't worked in it at all. But it does have this issue with the joystick here. The coin door just needs polishing. It's all original. Has the original locks as well. I have the keys to everything. It's in really nice shape. Everything is original and matching. I haven't checked the serial numbers yet, but so far, the side art looks great. There are a few dings on the side where I can just touch it up. But this is the only thing really wrong with the outside here. This was actually made of MDF. The rest is actually wood. It's not MDF. But this right here is all MDF. So originally I wanted to cut it here. Then I realized, you know what? I could just remove this whole plate comes out. So I'm just going to remove the whole thing, measure it up, and just toss another piece of MDF in there that's brand new, painted black. Should look gorgeous when I'm done. I'm going to replace the T-molding. You can see it's actually coming out a little bit here. But everything else is, it's all original. Everything's in really nice shape. This is the original marquee. Looks great. So yeah, I can't wait to kind of go through that and get it working. So I might, as I said, throw a J-Rock in there. And then after I fix it and it becomes a Defender, I can take that same J-Rock and toss it in here, and I'll have my Williams, set up with the 3-in-1 with the Smash TV, Total Carnage, and Robotron. So, so it won't be a waste of money when I do get it. This here is a Super Pac-Man. I actually, this is the original panel that was on there. It was the wrong joystick. I'm not sure if that's a Monroe joystick. I can't really tell. Kind of looks like one, doesn't it? Yeah, so this one is obviously not original buttons and stuff, and they drilled the extra one here. But then I found a populated one for a decent price on Clov, so the guy sent it over. I may leave this on here, I'm not really sure, but most likely, since I'm redoing the side art, because I plan to get a whole side kit package from Joe Sabo, I'm not going to do stenciling on it. I just don't have the really the time or the garage to do that. You know, I live in a townhouse. I have a backyard and everything. It's just a pain to get stuff outside. So I did end up sanding this down at a buddy's house. We brought it over and then I just painted it down here in the basement. So it's all ready to go. I just got to apply side art and the kick plate. I have a brand new Midway coin door for this. Looks just like this one, you know, but it was refinished and restored. So I'm going to toss that in there, put the side art, the kick plate, and then I'm probably going to get this redone by Joe as well. Joe Sabo, he does really good work. He's going to give me a nice overlay for this, which is factory, you know, just a reproduction. I am also going to get, I was toying with getting glass or plexi. I may get glass for this. He does glass reverse printing as well, so I may get that done. He does everything digital. I know it's not screen printed, but for me it's good enough. You know, I'm just going to put it on there. I do have, you can see here, I did manage to, oops, I just dropped a whole bunch of stuff. I did manage to get an original Pac-Man marquee, and it's in pretty decent shape. Got this for 20 bucks on Clov. Somebody had a whole bunch, and not much scratches on the back. It actually looks really good, so really happy I got that. So you know, slowly but surely it's on my list. The problem I have is that I have way too many projects. I just need to get one done one at a time. But this one here, I'm probably going to wait till the winter to do that because I don't have to go outside anymore for that. It's just basically putting it all together. This one here, I may bust out that thing on the bottom, get it done this summer, and just you know, spray it outside, you know, that piece, and just knock it in there. So that may be easy too. And this one here, this one I may do this summer, I'm not sure. Or I may wait till winter as well, because I can paint down here no problem with latex. So this one, this is a Versus cabinet. It originally had a Super Mario marquee, a Popeye bezel, and the Versus control panel on here. This here was like a dark blue. You can kind of see it on the side here where I had sanded. It was a really dark blue. This here was blue as well. The bottom part was black. This was red. The kick plate, the sides were red. It was just really sad looking. I have another video where I started it, where I kind of started the restore process on that. So this is all sanded really smooth. I mean, you can touch it, it feels like a baby's butt. So it's really perfect. It's waiting to be primed and painted. So once I do that, you know, I can go ahead and rebuild the control panel, which I may do this summer. Control panel, I need to do stuff that's weather dependent, and this one here, you know, the fumes and everything from the brake cleaner that I'm going to use to clean it out needs to be done outdoors. So I may just, you know, get this rebuilt. I have the monitor, I need to recap that. This here is the Sanyo monitor. I got super lucky on Craigslist. I found an exact donor for the tube, because the one on mine, the Aqua Dog, I think is that gray stuff we see on the back. It's coming off. When I washed it, it was just so old. It had been underwater, so I'm not even sure if the chassis is going to be any good. But for now, I do have a donor in case I do find a Sanyo, or if that one's not any good. I haven't fired it up yet because it's a little different. I believe it's 100 volts. It's not the typical voltage. So I have to just take it over to my buddy's house who has Donkey Kong and just plug it in and see if it works. So yeah, so that's on the back burner as well. I do have the multi-board on that, and you can see the harness right here. It actually came in. I got this from highscoresaves.com, and this is a switcher where you can just switch it. Instead of going inside and doing the dip switches, you just plug this into the multiverses, and you basically select each game. So you click on 8. There's 8 total. I am going to take this right here. This is a spare gun that I have, and I'm going to modify it so that it will work with the Versus. So that way I'll have gun games as well. And then I just have to modify this slightly so that when I go to games 7 and 8, which is Hogan's Alley and Duck Hunt, it won't have the alarm. I have to build kind of a little switch in there so that I can disable the alarm when it's disconnected. So it's just a safety thing they did, I guess, in the arcades for versus games that had guns. If there's no gun detected, it kind of does this weird alarm sound where it goes and it sounds really bad. So yeah, guys. So that's basically it. You know, I'm trying to get the game room going here. I'll show you a couple things I did. I'm starting to collect amiibos. These are unopened. I don't even have a Wii. I just like how they look. I think they're pretty badass. I always leave them packaged in there so you know, I can always, if I decide to sell them in the future, they'll be in mint condition. I make sure that I don't puncture anything. So I'm just starting my little collection. I only have 4 right now, but I think it looks cool. So this is going to be the amiibo wall. I'm going to have them all on here. This is original side art from Blitz. This here, a buddy of mine at work actually dropped it off my desk. He found a really, really old catalog for toys, and he saw the Nintendo Entertainment System on there, which I thought was cool. This one here is, you know, electronic games that they had. This is all from the 80s. So I framed it, and I could also switch it around, so if I get tired of this, I can kind of flip it around, and on the other side, you can see they have Nolan Bushnell from Atari on there. You can see it on the left right there. Yep. And there's some toys that he invented or whatnot. So I could always flip it around if I want. I thought that's pretty cool. That's why I got that frame. For now, I'm going to leave it on Nintendo because I kind of like it there. I also have this here, just an ad that I saw for Pac-Man. This is when they were trying to fight piracy. It says, "Don't trifle with the heavyweight." It talks about, you know, don't use bootleg stuff and their property rights and copyrighted stuff, so don't do it. It's kind of from a magazine. And this here is just, you know, a cool poster that I got from work with, you know, Gene Simmons. So he actually stopped by the office. I remember I was in a New York office and he was there for the show. They had Family Jewels on A&E, so it was kind of cool. So that's it, guys. You know, not much has changed in the arcade, just a lot of projects. I've been busy. Last summer totally got erased from my life. I had some stuff where my fiance was in the hospital, you know, in ICU most of the summer after having the baby. And I figured, you know what, let me just go through a quick walkthrough and get some projects done and tell you guys what's happening. Now that it's kind of like the 1-year anniversary. It's my daughter's birthday today. She's 1. So, you know, it's been a blessing. I mean, that everything worked out for the best and everybody's 100% fine now. So it's really awesome. So now I just got to concentrate on my hobby. So, been pretty consistent about posting on Fridays at 10 a.m. Give or take, you know, but for the most part, you know, I will try to do that. So I figured I owed you guys an update. It's been a while since I had one. And yeah, you can see the monitor right here is acting up. Here, let me turn this off. I'll show you what I mean. So right now it looks very red. And if I open it up, let's see, I'll open it up real quick to show you guys. And basically, I'm going to show you what I see here. So there's my JAMA board. So this right here, this wire, going to the back, I'm going to wiggle it so you can see the difference. But when I wiggle it, you'll see the color will come back. See? So it's an issue basically with the, probably the connector. I'm just going to make a new connector for it, for the RGB. You know, so it acts up every now and then if you're like banging the machine or something, or it just falls off. So either that or a cold solder joint. I'm not really sure. Alright guys, so this is another cabinet that I have up here. It's actually sitting in my living room, only because I had to work on it outside. It's a commission cabinet that I got for, I guess, a friend of a friend. I don't know if you guys remember a Frogger cabinet that I did in the past. Well, one of their friends saw it and they were like, hey, we want one too. I'm usually pretty reluctant on doing these for people unless I know them. Because, you know, they're kind of a lot of work, and plus I don't want to destroy an original cabinet. But in this case, this cabinet was really, really far gone. It was actually given to me by a buddy of mine, where you could see, if you look really close here, this is a sample T-mold that I have on it. It doesn't quite line up. There's like a little bit over here because it does have a tiny bit of swelling on it. But I was able to seal it up with black spray paint. I kind of masked this side off here because I wanted to kind of preserve this without having to get new laminate for the wood. And, you know, it's going to go on a little bit. Even if a little bit of black shows, it's not a big deal. But before, it was really bright particle board, so it looked funny. So I think it's going to come out really good. I redid the bottom here. So if you look there, you see that black line that I painted? That was all blown out, and I actually bonded that whole thing. I bondled this. There was a huge chunk missing over here. Bondled that, and then just put like, you know, blue painter's tape and just masked it off. I made the other side match over here. So if you look here, this had a little bit that I did on the side, and then I, you know, recut everything with the slot cutter with my router. Then I masked it off, and again, you know, the bottom you can see over there where I did that. I made the front match as well. You know, that was just plain black already. I just made it match the same color. And then I quickly, you know, refinished the door there where I spray painted it black, added a new lock, polished everything up. This right here, and by the way, this is a Century cab. I believe it was a Vanguard originally in there. But, you know, I went ahead, I called up Joe at Sable's Arcades, and he basically made me a custom Ms. Pac-Man. I love the fact that he didn't make it edge to edge. He actually put some black in here because he didn't want to stretch the Ms. Pac-Man logo. Like, he has really good attention to detail. His pinks completely match the control panel, which he did as well. He did a really fantastic job. This is commission work. I mean, he does commission stuff, which is custom, or he does original stuff as well, repros. But this is made from that really durable material. It is bubble free, has like microscopic holes in there so that it doesn't get bubbles. This here is a Pac Pro from Groovy Game Gear. It's a leaf switch joystick. And these two, I believe, are from Paradise Arcade, where they're the pink versions. They basically match the T-molding that you can get on the side. They're kind of the exact same color. So I opted to get those, and then just plain white buttons for the start buttons. So it looks kind of legit, even though it has the two buttons there. They're kind of camouflaged a little bit. I really like how it looks, you know, because it is going to have a multi board in there. And, you know, I just measured from here. This is a custom cut panel. This is not an original Century, so it's not destroyed. I actually took a panel here that was, it was a piece of metal. I actually got it from Steve. I don't know if you guys remember, there was another episode where I picked up a Super Buster Brothers. So this, actually, he had a repro panel made that was already bent. It was made of steel and stuff. And then I just bought the bimetal bits, the hole cutters, and I, you know, drilled the hole here, the two here, and the two here, and I had them line it up. You know, I gave him the measurements exactly with Joe, and he basically created this for me. This actually matches his marquee up here, the exact colors and everything, so it's really cool. So it is dead on accurate. The only thing that I did custom, because obviously this isn't a Ms. Pac-Man one, was that we had a little fun with it. So instead of making this plain black, I said, hey, why not throw the cabaret graphic on the front? I think it would look really cool. You know, make it kind of like a unique cabinet, because this is wood grain, and the cabarets are wood grain. So I figured let's have some fun. You know, it's a custom cabinet, so you might as well. So it does have everything, including the coin door I refinished as well. Put a new lock on here. You can see the coin doors. The coin mechs are intact, but they didn't have all the wires. I do have the light bulbs, which I'm going to put on, like so. You know, they're I believe they're 12 volts for the bulbs I'm using. This was on it before. It was just taped actually here. It was really in terrible shape. But I do have clips, you know, that go on there, and I'm going to screw it in, you know, to make it pretty good. It does have the coin counter, which we're not going to use. I may actually take this out, the coin counter right here, and salvage it. Test button I will probably use. It has one that's momentary, and it also has one that stays on. So I got to figure out which one goes with the board. But that's it. I think it came out really good. A lot better than I thought. This here is a plexi I got from Tap Plastics. It's tinted plexi. It's tinted smoke. It's the darkest they have. And I'm going to throw, because it's going to be a multi-board in there, which uses VGA, I am going to go with CRT. I mean, I usually go with an LCD, but I figured it would look a little more authentic. This is just a CRT that I had. It's a 19-inch monitor. It's a PC monitor. You know, and it does have the VGA cord here. So I already decased it. A little trick you guys can use is that once you decase, you can kind of take these panels are like maybe 50 cents in the hardware store. They're just electrical cover boxes, or box covers or whatever. And then you just screw it in, and then you can just drill a hole here that goes right into the mount. That's already in there. So you just put 4 of them on. It's cool because they swivel, so you can kind of line it up how you need it. And then drill it in. They're really strong. They hold up the monitor like they were intended with the 4 bolts. And that's it. So it's really easy to mount. It's going to be mounted vertically. And this is it. So I've been busy doing this, you know, just for now, just to get it out of the way. And, you know, basically I just have to put the T-molding on. The monitor in. All the guts are in there already. The switching power supply is already in there. So that's a project I've been a little busy with. It's taken a little longer. I was supposed to be done way back in April, but the rain, man, on the weekends, it rained almost every single weekend. So I really couldn't go outside and get this spray painted because I really wanted to spray it. I didn't want to put latex on there. I wanted it to be sprayed. So all the internals are sprayed. I got a new speaker in there. It's all new parts. Has a cold cathode tube in here, 2 of them, so it'll last forever. You don't have to worry about fluorescent stuff ever going out. The bulbs are the starter, so there it is. I thought I'd share that with you. It's one of my many projects. So let's head back to the basement. Alright guys, so there you have it. Another episode of DeLuSioNaL's Arcade. Glad you guys enjoyed it. Just a quick little update, nothing fancy, you know, for the summer. I want to get a lot of projects going. The next one I'm going to do is probably, once I finish that arcade that's upstairs, you know, for my friend's friend, I'm going to go ahead and do this one and kind of fix that monitor that's in there, maybe grab some glass and the bezel on that and get this one going. I want to really, you know, make it into like something cool, you know. But it is taking up a lot of real estate, so I may get rid of that and just put another stand-up arcade in there. I really, really want to get a zookeeper, so that might go towards the zookeeper fund. And then the Tetris over here. So, a lot of cool summer projects. I wanted to show you something too, because this is also one thing I got to do. I actually have another bar top kit from Game Room Designs over Rick on the forums actually sent me this kit. It's actually a 2-player kit. It's really cool looking. So we're gonna go ahead and assemble that. I have an unboxing, you know, vid and all that, just like I did with the Harriman's Customs. So I'm gonna kind of review that one, and it's gonna be a nice theme, which I'm not gonna reveal just yet, but it is gonna have a really, really cool theme with custom artwork. So that should be awesome. I forgot to mention that when I was doing the walkthrough here. So that's it. Oh, you can see now. See, it's starting to have more graphical issues on Outrun. So yeah, we definitely have to tackle that. So again, you know, I'm being pulled in all these directions. I want to do the reflowing of the monitor. I want to do the bar top kit. I want to fix this. So there's tons and tons of projects, which means tons and tons of episodes. So don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell icon so you'll notify when I do those projects. But you know, I really love this hobby. I have a passion for it. And you guys are the reason I do it. I really don't do it for the YouTube money or anything like that, because it's, you know, as everybody knows, you don't do it for the money. Trust me, you get paid pennies. So, all right, guys, if you have any questions, just leave it in the comments below or hit me up on Twitter at Del's Arcade. That's at DELS Arcade, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.